So my name is Leon, and I have the wonderful privilege of being part of the A-Team. It's called the A-Team because it's the apprentice team. We have many people come and go. They learn how to do these wonderful things throughout the Ark in various departments. That gives them both the knowledge and the skills to be able to decide if there's one of those departments that they fit in best, and then they can slide right into that department and be able to work where their passion is. I am from Northern Illinois, a place that I call home. Before I worked at the Ark Encounter, I started off working as a public school teacher, working with handicapped and special needs students. Then I moved into transition. I was actually a children's pastor for a number of years. Then I went back to the public school and I worked as a custodian for a few years. Then I was missing teaching, so I then became a teacher of reading instruction and reading intervention. I consider coming to the Ark to work because my wife had become ill and teaching was just too stressful, and I was looking for a ministry that I could be a part of that would be a little more flexible for me, not as demanding, and something a little further south that would be more conducive to my wife's health. So we began to look at a couple of different ministries that had been important in my life, and one of them was Answers in Genesis. So as I began to look, things worsened for my wife, so I kind of put them on hold a little bit. A couple months later, she passed, and I had a very godly friend, one of those friends who's closer than a brother, who came to me and said, I think the Lord means for you to continue to pursue this plan that you and Judy had. The timing will be up to the Lord, but I think you're supposed to pursue it. So I put in an application, and it was only 3 days later I got a response back. Oh, we're interested in interviewing you. It's a place where my values and the values of my employer dovetail together so naturally. It's easy to work here because I know if I have the opportunity to share the gospel with someone, I'm encouraged to do that. A day in the life of an A-Team member is very atypical. I arrive here at work at the beginning of my shift, not knowing what I'm going to be doing ahead of time. We meet together for devotions and prayer time, and then we get our assignments for the day. Occasionally, I may end up in as many as 6 different places throughout the day. Never ever do I have to sit back and think, I'm not going to learn something today. I've worked in culinary, doing breaks. I've worked actually in the kitchen, helping with dishes or helping to do some of the prep work, helping to fulfill the buffet. There are times I've worked in retail. That's kind of a favorite place for me because when I work in retail at the register, I really get to interact with the guests and be able to encourage them and ask, well, what was so important about you being here at the Ark today? What was the most significant thing that you learned? And sometimes I get just a short little answer, but once in a while I get this, it's gonna change my life type of thing. My most favorite thing to do at the Ark when I'm here working is being able to work down at the sluice or the fossil find. Young children, they come up with their tickets all excited, and we begin to take their strainers and we put what's called enriched rough into those baskets, and they start sifting through the water and they find their gemstones or they find their fossils, and just to see their eyes light up, they get to understand a little bit that God created all this variety, and it just makes that moment in their minds just kind of stick that God is doing something here. My life has changed so incredibly since I've been here. I've learned so much about God's comfort for myself, God's provision for me. I love the other employees and the relationships I've developed with them. So if you're thinking about looking for a job, you can go to answersingenesis.org/jobs, and you can explore all the different things that are available there. You'll find jobs from culinary, our safety department, EMS, guest services, a plethora of things. So go there, investigate, see if there isn't something there for you.